And today I just wanted to continue off the conversation that we had on the last episode about the homeowners insurance policy. And we went through coverages A through F, which are going to be your basic big coverages throughout. The next part is to kind of go through either I'm going to go through a couple deductible scenarios and also some optional coverages. So there's typically going to be a difference between what they call all peril and then also like wind, storm, wind, hail deductibles. All peril means all perils. So your deductible are either 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,500 or more, or a percentage of the dwelling. So a lot of companies have started doing a percentage of the dwelling, typically a half, 2%. So if your dwelling's 400,000 and you have a 0.5% deductible, that means you're at $2,000. If you have a 1% deductible, that same 400,000, now your deductible is $4,000. Reason why a lot of times they go percentages is price of materials and labor go up to repair the home instead of raising the homeowner policy. What they've done is been able to keep the policy price down, but your deductible continues to go up. So if you pay for a flat deductible, like 1,000, 1,500, 2,500, 5,000, as dwelling goes up, your price is going to go up. A lot of times with your percentages, the price stays a little bit more level, but you're also responsible for more as well. So that's going to be, and then the separation of deductibles is going to be the other thing. So all perils means all perils. If there is a separate deductible for, let's say, wind, hail, that means if it's caused by a windstorm or caused by a hailstorm, those deductibles take into effect. So for example, if you had hail that damaged the roof, and let's say you had a $1,500 $1,500, but your wind and hail was at 2% on a 400,000, that means you're responsible for that $8,000. Something to keep in mind when you're looking at the policies. Obviously, separating wind and hail off with a bigger deductible can save you money if you're looking at the premium, but also leaves you more liable if those storms do take effect. So just something to look at on those deductibles. Now, when we get into some optional coverages that we can take a look at, or what they call additional coverages, there's going to be a few different things. So like one of them is going to be personal injury. So we talked about liability. That's if somebody else sues you. Personal injury is if you get hurt at the home that you can use it under your homeowner's policy. Next ones are going to be like a lot of times identity theft or identity shield is available on the coverages as well. So you can take a look at that and see if that's an option for you if you're interested in. Earthquake. Now, some states require separate, or where you live require separate earthquake insurance, or a lot of times it is available in your homeowner's policy as well. Sewer and drain is going to be a big one, especially if you have a little bit older home, let's say older than 40 years old. So now we'd be looking at 1981 or before. Sewer and drain is probably a good one to take a look at. There are options under the sewer and drain. So depending on what insurance company you're with, there will be some different optional cover dollar amounts and then also what they cover. Limited mold is going to be on there as well as an option, or what they call fungus or bacteria coverage. That basically all the same thing. Just a question of what company you're with and what they actually call it. Limited plumbing system repair is a lot of times available, where if there's plumbing on a primary house. If it's your secondary house, typically the plumbing repair is not, just because you're not there as much, but it is some optional coverage there as well. Some other, obviously, probably a lot of you have heard of what they call like floaters or jewelry floaters, where basically if we have an item over $2,500 that we want to make sure we get full value for, we'd need an appraisal or bill of sale and then description of what it is. That way that particular item is covered as well. Those can, if you have multiple items, obviously those can add up pretty quick, but it is, if you are wanting to insure those for the proper value, a jewelry floater is definitely going to be something that you're going to want to take a look at. Or watches or anything might occur into that as well. Also, the glass you can get for your windows around the house. Childcare liability if you're running a small daycare or something out of the house. That can be added to the homeowner's policy as well. Let's see, if you want to cover trees, plants, or shrubs for wind or hail damage, that's typically an additional coverage. There's some companies that cover equipment breakdowns, somewhat like a homeowner's warranty. But the deductible typically on these is a little bit more expensive, but it doesn't cost you much per year as well. A new one for us is going to be service line endorsement. This is going to be on any power, water, cable, whatever line going from basically street to the house. That is also covered. Typically, there's a limit of like $10,000 on that. But as cities get older, obviously pipes, things of that also get older. can burst, things of that nature. So that's going to be something that's going to be covered up to $10,000 on that. And then also like limited water leakage. If we had water leaking from stuff, there's also certain things that they can cover on that one. So that's going to be a majority of the optional coverages that you can get on the homeowners policy. Once again, I'd speak with your personal agent, or you're more than welcome to call us at the office, and we'd be more than happy to walk you through that and kind of explain the exact points of each individual coverage if you have some interest in. So I wanted to thank you for joining me on this episode of Doing Insurance Right. As always, if you could rate, review, or subscribe to whatever your platform you're listening on, I greatly appreciate it. And I'd look forward to seeing you on the next episode.